During that time, I was doing a lot of like touring with artists such as Koffee, etc.
Yeah.
But my dream was always to be a solo artist.
Please tell us a little more about the persona behind all this creativity before you became Zhayna, the artist.
Okay, so Zhayna, just the regular Zhayna. I grew up in Stony Hill, Kingston, Jamaica, and I was always just into arts, to be honest. So, music was always my passion. My second passion was dancing, and then I love to act as well. So it was always a thing that I did. But like in my spare time, I would go to the river because where I grew up, there was a river that surrounded the community. So also sometimes I would go to the river and I would take my guitar and I would go and sing and, stuff like that. But that's where the journey started. I could always sing since I was like 3 years old. Since I could speak, as a matter of fact, I could sing. My mother said, from the day I was born, the first thing I did was sing. I didn't talk first.
Oh, wow.
So that was just always a part of my life, and then the journey continued and I did altogether sing. I did JCDC, all the works throughout, prep school, high school, Holy Child High School, that is.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I'm pointing that out.
Right. And then I went to Edna Manley College, where I studied music again, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I would say my professional career started. So in 2012, that's when my professional career started, and my first single I released in 2020.
Yeah, right over.
Right. So during that time, I was doing a lot of like touring with artists such as Koffee, etc.
Yeah.
But my dream was always to be a solo artist, so I kept working towards that. I kept, taking experiences from these different things, from touring and, other gigs around. And so I put that into my own craft. And here I am right now. Zhayna the artist. Yeah, period.
All right, great. And Zhayna is a part of your government name, basically. What's your full name?
Zhayna is my original name. Zhayna France is actually my name.
Cool. All right, Zhayna. So as stated earlier, beautiful name, by the way.
Thank you.
You were among, some of the vocalists in the background, providing that beautiful harmony for some of Jamaica's super talented and powerful singers, and also a Canadian singer, Daniel Caesar, as well. And additionally, you provided vocals for albums produced by internationally acclaimed musical giants Spice and Shaggy, just to name a few. But in 2020, following your debut track, Runaway, that's the name of the track, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You decided to give that all up, or have you? Or you still provide vocals going on? You do?
I do from time to time, yes.
But just not the background singing again?
Actually, from time to time, I do.
Oh, still? Okay, but you're focusing on being solo.
Right. I'm more selective when it comes to doing background vocals on stage. Yes.
I understand. All right, so you decided to give that up in part and stepped out on your own as a solo artist. Why?
Well, because that's just what I wanted to do. That was my dream.
Yeah.
It was always the goal to be a solo artist. Since I was little, that's all I ever dreamed about. I would go in front of a mirror and sing and dance and pretend I was a pop star. The whole works. I wanted to be like Beyonce or like, what's her name? Oops, I did it again. Britney Spears, right? Yeah, so that was my dream, ever since, maybe I would say that in terms of the kind of music that I do, that has changed a bit. So I'm more conscious now, more positive vibes, yes, I love the vibes and the dancing and all of that. But I also feel like I should bring a message, like a positive message, a conscious message.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the fact that I got this gift, I feel like I need to do something purposeful, so yes.
That is it. What was the reaction though from your family, friends who would have seen you on tour with some of these artists, and even your fans when you decided to make this move?
I would say that it was expected because everybody knows that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would say that people saw the talent, it can't really hide.
Yeah.
Just be honest. So it was more of congratulations, that kind of thing, celebration for, the achievements and so on, So I would say it was it was good in terms of the reception, in terms of, the support. All of that was really good. My parents always supported. My family always supported. I said this recently in an interview that my mother actually wanted me to be something along the lines of Dr. Lawyer, Indian chief.
Okay, then. Expected.
As a matter of fact, I could tell a story about that.
Really?
When I was supposed to go to music school at Edna Manley College, right? Really and truly, my mother. So we told her, me and my siblings told her, Zhayna can do art, she loves to draw and all of that, and her father is a graphic designer, so she can follow in his footsteps. And mommy was like, yeah, man, of course, because, as an artist, you can make money as a visual artist. You can make money and it's easier for you because, as a female in the music, it's hard and whatever. You can make money so easy and whatever. I was like, yeah, man. And then my sister decided that she was going to register me for music school as opposed to art school.
Oh.
So she thought that the plan was to register me for art school, but it was really for music school. Because she said that I'm not paying for music school because I don't know where you're going to make money from that. So it's going to be art school. So anyway, she went ahead and she registered me for music school, and here I am now. And she was shook.
I was just gonna ask, so what was her response? Yes, scam me. I mean,
and they're like, yeah, because we have to support. This is what she's good at. This is
exactly.
We have to,
I'm happy your sister went behind mommy's back and really did that.
If she didn't, I probably wouldn't be her. I would be a graphic designer or something.
Yeah, maybe also. All right, great story though. All right, well, and on that note though, as you said, you've always been, wanting to fulfill this passion and, rocking the crowd on your own and doing all that. Speaking of that, recently you just came off a tour in Europe alongside, reggae veterans Lutan Fyah and Jamaican, where I got a glimpse of how you carried on and, confidently own your space on stage. But who are some of the players or institution, as you mentioned, Edna, kind of help you to hone that craft that has helped to mold this creative, versatile, dynamic side of you?
Okay, so that's a good question, but it's always a very hard question because I would say that my influences have come from so many different places. The kind of artist that I am, I'm very dynamic and versatile. So even though I would say my foundation is Jamaican music, reggae music, dancehall music, I listen to a wide variety of music. Multiple genres. I love jazz, I love R&B, I love soul, I love alternative rock, you name it, classical music, So my influences are, I like people like Ella Fitzgerald. She's one of my influences. She's a jazz singer. Jasmine Sullivan, who is R&B singer, but she does jazz as well. Yeah. Right. So people like that, John Legend. Who else is there? Chronics. Barry Salmon, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson. I mean, I could Christina Aguilera. I could Beyonce, Britney Spears.
Because I infused multiple different genres and different talents.
Many different people, right? So I feel like because of that, I have a very unique style.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Right.
So I'm glad you're tapping on it.
Yes.
So how would you describe that though, with all of that collective genre fused into one? How would you describe your musical style or genre?
I'm a reggae fusion singer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, man, because it's infused with a lot more than just reggae and dancehall and hip-hop.
If I should categorize myself, I would say reggae fusion because technically the categories for Jamaican music is reggae.
Yeah.
Even though I sing some dancehall and some mento and some ska, I also have to categorize myself how it is categorized as reggae. So I'd say reggae fusion.
Yeah, reggae would form the base of what you're doing, but then it's infused with other genres.
Right.
I see. And you're also the lead vocalist and a performer at the Ashe dance group as well. So that kind of molds you into the dancing.
Right. So I'm not there anymore, but I was with Ashe for a couple of years. And trust me, they molded me into something completely like different from where I started. I would say I was always a great performer. I was always a great singer. But once I joined Ashe, it was a different energy. Like, you know, Ashe is full of energy.
Yeah.
So, and then also they do training too. So they do vocal training, they do dance training, they do acting and all of that. So I would say that I'm well-rounded in all of those different areas. And I think because of that, it makes me a great artist overall.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. So it's a full package. Like whenever you're live on stage performing, the patrons get a full package. The dancing, the acting, the, you know, the creatively, you know, put yourself out there as well as an actor. All right, that's great. How would you describe the experience though on the recent tour? Though it's not your first time performing in Europe, but what was it like, you know, the vibes and the reaction? What was it like this time around?
This time around, I would say it was different. I feel like a star.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, so this is my second solo tour.
Yeah.
My first tour, I didn't do a lot of places. It was like Sweden, Germany, and one other place, I think.
Yeah.
But for this tour, it was like 20, I don't know, 28 or so shows in 1 month. So, you know, we got like 2-3 rest days, right? But it was amazing. Like the reception from the audience, it was really good. They really rocked to the vibe. And I feel like it was such a unique combination between me, Lutan Fyah.
Yes, it was kind of like,
yeah, so people were really like,
really there.
Yeah, people were anticipating like, what is she going to come with? Because these are like roots reggae artists, and then here's this young fresh new singer who is not necessarily roots reggae, but she does reggae. So what's she gonna come with?
That nice,
you know. So it was really good. You know, I feel like they appreciated that difference. You know, whilst also appreciating the fact that there's some similarities as well. So they could connect in that way. So I feel like it was really good. You know, more than anything else, I feel like I enjoyed after the show when I would like interact with the patrons. Yeah, that was really, really nice. And some of them would tell me, oh, you know, because I was actually sick throughout all of the tour. Towards the end of the tour, that's when I started getting better. But I was sick. My voice was gone. I didn't know how I was gonna sing some of those songs, man. But after the show, you know, when I talked to the people who came out, they were like, you know, you didn't even have to say that you were sick, because I would say, oh guys, you know, I'm sick, you know, I'm sorry. I did for like 2 shows and then I didn't do it for anymore because it's like the show must go on.
Yeah.
And so they were like, you don't need to say that you're sick with it. You sounded great, and you know, your performance had so much energy and da da da. And I was like, wow, okay, all right, next show I'm just gonna perform.
Yeah, that's
so I was motivated by that. It felt really good.
Lovely, because I've seen where there are occasions where, you know, female fans even jumped on stage to take photos with you and stuff like that.
Yes.
Trying to kiss you and dance along and all that.
Oh my gosh, that was new for me.
Yes, some of them think it's a dolly risk.
Clearly, but it was really amazing though to experience all of that for the first time. I was like, wow. And then my song Attention is like, attention. They definitely gave me
the attention that you need.
I was surprised. I was like, okay,
too much attention now.
Like, so be careful with the ass.
That's true.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of our interview. Thank you so much for coming. But before you go, please, you know, throw out your social media handles to the viewers so they can keep up with you and your career. You can also give the correct spelling of your name.
Okay. All right. So my name is Zhayna once again. Thank you for having me, Star. And you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Zhayna. That's spelled Zhayna. You can listen to my music, stream my music on all musical platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, YouTube. I've got a couple videos on YouTube, so please go and run that up. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.